Joining us right now is Daniel Herz. He's the president of the Jewish Federation of Northern New Jersey. He knows Edan's family and has been involved in the community's efforts to bring him home. When you see these pictures and when you saw that moment of him walking out so casually at Newark Airport, how did that make you feel?
I was overwhelmed, as I know the entire community in Northern New Jersey was. I actually took a picture of the TV because it has been over 600 days and so emotional, so heartbreaking, and such a beautiful day to have him back in Northern New Jersey, coming to Tenafly. We're so grateful. And at the same time, we have to remember the remaining hostages that are being held in Gaza.
It's a great point, because there are many that are still being held and many families that are still waiting for their release. But let's talk about Edan, and let's talk about the Alexander family. Tell us, has it been like, not just for the community, but for his parents? Yeah. How do you continue to move on during this period when your son is being held hostage? How is that possible?
I don't think you do. I don't think it is possible. And I know Yael and Adi did not move on. They worked tirelessly every day, every moment to push for Edan's release. And this day today, his return back. Imagine, this is, as you saw, is a normal young person who grew up here in New Jersey. And the Alexanders are normal people. Yeah. And they were thrust into this position because an evil terrorist group came in to kill, destroy, and take hostages. And we are so, I can't even express the journey over the last 600+ days of just torment to day 584 when he was released and we gathered in Tenafly as they're gathering today. What a moment. What a moment.
Indeed. Let's talk about that journey for a second, because this is a young man. He was 18 years old. He graduates from Tenafly High School, and then he feels the yearning, the commitment to Israel. What does that mean to the Jews of Northern New Jersey when they see what a hero this young man was?
Yeah, he is a hero, and what it does is it gives us hope and strength and courage. Because we know if Edan can do it, we all can do it. We all have to fight for what is right. There is good and there is evil. And I've had the opportunity to be in Israel post-October 7th, and I've seen evil. And Edan was subjected to that evil. And the young people and the old people, we're one community. We are one community in Northern New Jersey. We've stood together for the last 621 days. And we'll stand together. We stand with Edan and his family. We stand with all of the remaining hostages and their family. And we stand with everyone who supports the Jewish people in Israel and what is right.
You know, I'm thinking about the effect that this will have on Edan's life. He's merely 21 years old. He has a lifetime ahead of him. And he is now thrust into and on this platform, so to speak, that he did not ask for, but here he finds himself on. And I'm curious your thoughts about how the community, how the Jewish community in particular, will support him in this time of transition and trying to get back to some normalcy.
Yeah, and it's an interesting thing. Celebrity is not normal. It's not normal to be recognized. It's not normal to have all of that attention, and it's certainly not something Edan and his family have ever asked for. So our job as the Jewish community and as Jewish Federation of Northern New Jersey is to bring the community together, is to support the family and continue to support with love and with space, and understand, that Edan needs to recover. There's
psychological healing that needs to take place.
He looks healthy, but you know what he's been through. And as Kristine points out, 21 years old is still in many ways a child, really.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, I get very emotional because I imagine you both have experienced very challenging moments in your life, and you see very challenging things. I know for me, I have as well, but not to this extent where you've been held in caves and watched and been subjected to what he's been subjected to. And so what we're going to do is continue to love him. We're going to stand together, and we're going to give the appropriate space so he can heal. But anything, you know, what we've shown as a community, coming together on the first anniversary of October 7th, 5,000 plus, again in those numbers when Edan was released into Israel, again today in those numbers, welcoming home in the right way, that where he can have space but understand the love that the community has for him as a brother, as a son.
And it's not just Edan himself, but Yael and Adi. Imagine the emotional trauma that they've been through for these 500 plus days. They have to recover too. They have to get their lives back.
I mean, I really get emotional. We had an event and we had 4,000 or 5,000 people on October 7th, and Yael and Adi were there sitting next to me, and I spoke, and I felt the weight of the world to make sure they understood how much we were loved. And when I came off, Yael went up and spoke and gave us all so much strength and courage, and then she came off and gave me a hug. And the strength that they have, the leadership that they've given, it's incredible.
You know, I use the phrase, how do they move on? That was incorrect. I think it was, how did they function, is what I should have said as a parent, is how do you function in a time like this? But they really, I mean, they rose to the challenge, and they were exemplary advocates and also witness to their son's plight, and they never gave up as a parent. I mean, any parent that is listening right now, I think, can understand what the Alexanders had gone through and will continue as they help their son heal, as Dick said, not just physically, but mentally as well.
Yeah, and also the fact that the parents did so much, going on television, and perhaps in some ways giving him comfort if he was ever able to see those interviews. I mean, imagine what it must have been like, the horror he was going through, underground, in tunnels, probably not getting enough food. It's really extraordinary that he had the strength, and really a strength of character, because that's what he's had his whole life. What about the other parents, not in the U.S., really, all around the world now, who are facing this and still worried about their hostages? How do these Jewish Israeli community, the Jewish American community, give them support going forward?
Yeah, and I think one, and this is, I mean, just shows the challenges we face, is there is a group called Run for Our Lives. They meet across the country every week to remember the hostages and make sure we're bringing attention. And it was only 2 weeks ago that a Run for Our Lives event was attacked in Boulder, where innocent elderly people had Molotov cocktails thrown at them. And I know, even more people came out in Boulder, in Tenafly, across New Jersey and across the country, because when terror comes at us, we stand up stronger. And I would say that's true for the Jewish community, but we have incredible support in other communities that have come to us, and it means so much to the Jewish community. And remember, in Israel, there's 7 million Jews, but there's 2 million non-Jews who vote, who hold the same democratic rights that the Jews do, Christians, Muslims. And so having the support within the Jewish community, but also across communities, is so important.
It really is.